Digital. Jaguars Digital. Jaguars Drive Time. Brian Sexton, John Oehser, Ashland Sullivan. Jaguars Drive Time starts right now.
We talked today, and just like, I told him, I just want to see, more practice. I think, he's working on his volume and the amount of throws and all of that. And, he's cleared medically, but, still you want to be able to see those things on the practice field. I just think right now in practice, Mike is throwing better and gives us the best chance to win. And, I don't think Gardner's, 100% as far as his workload, and, that's always a concern to me, and I'm trying to understand it, and we're both trying to work through it.
What is the future for quarterback Gardner Minshew? Lots of question marks around that. Is he healthy? We're not sure, but Doug Marrone has made it clear that he is not fully confident that he can be the starting quarterback for the Jaguars right now, which means they're going with Mike Glennon against the Tennessee Titans on Sunday. John, it seems like a big story, but it really isn't. But because of the quarterback position, we're always going to pay attention to something like this.
We're going to pay attention, and I think the bottom line the other day was, Doug is not ready to go back to Gardner Minshew. I don't anticipate him being ready to go back to him. I said since day one, since Jake Luton was the quarterback, I thought with Jake Luton it would take a disaster to get him out of the lineup for Minshew. The disaster happened, but he went to Glennon. I think a similar disaster along the lines of 3 or 4 interceptions. They like the way that Glennon's running the offense. They like what he's doing. They didn't like the 2 interceptions the other day, but they do like what he brings to the offense. And with 4 games left, unless he gets hurt, I don't see them going back.
On Sunday night,
Brian, I'm sure
it
you
wasn't a
agree.
story any longer. On Sunday night, it wasn't a story any longer. Doug Marrone was asked in Minnesota, how healthy is Gardner Minshew? He said he's 100%, right? It wasn't a story. He said he's staying with Mike Glennon. And on Monday night, the story came out, Mike DiRocco had it, where Gardner Minshew said that he begged to play. And it became a story again. Folks, it's not a story. This team has moved on. Gardner Minshew is not the franchise quarterback. They're playing Mike Glennon because they want what gives them the best chance, not just to win, but to develop the young players on their team, right? It's about them. It's not about Gardner. So this should stop being a story now. It's not a story at all.
We shall see. Definitely a guy that brings a lot of attention to the table is Gardner Minshew. But as of now, Mike Glennon is the starting quarterback, and we foresee that for the rest of the 2020 season as we get into big things. Big thing one is December Derrick. Derrick Henry averaged less than 75 yards against the Jags in September and only 3.4 yards per carry. Now let's go to December Derrick. A little different against the Jags, 150 yards and 7 yards per carry based off the 3 games that the Jaguars and Titans have played in December. He almost is a different player when the playoff conversation heats up. So needless to say, this run defense is going to need to be on point on Sunday.
I think overall, if I'm not mistaken with your question, when we have everyone fitting the right gap, and I think this, you could probably say this to any defense, it's gonna be difficult, to run the football. If you can hold a point and fit your gap, it's gonna go well. I think for us, when you look at it, that has been the biggest issues of when we haven't been able, to control the run. There's 2 things I think you can look at. It's the gap, in the fits, obviously, and then obviously the missed tackle. So I guess when you're fitting your gaps and you're tackling well, you got a chance to be pretty darn good, in this league. So, that's the challenge for us, and that's what we keep working on.
Big thing, too, is a complete game. The Jaguars haven't played one of these yet this season. Offense, defense, special teams, with no turnovers or glaring mistakes on any of those 3 sides of the ball. We haven't seen it yet this season. They must have the most complete performance on Sunday against the Tennessee Titans to stay in this game and stay competitive the past few weeks that we've seen. A tall task against the Titans, who are heating up, coming off a loss. They're going to want this win more than ever, so all 3 sides of the ball have to play as one on Sunday. Finally, big thing 3, who wants the Titans, especially this time of year? They're coming off a loss like we mentioned, but the playoff Tennessee team is one that you don't want to play. Obviously, The favorites in the AFC are the Steelers and the Chiefs, but is it a good or bad thing, I guess I should say, Brian, that the Tennessee Titans, they came back almost against the Cleveland Browns last week, so they're going to be more eager for a win than ever? Is that a good or bad thing for this Jacksonville team?
Well, I don't buy it with the Titans. The Titans aren't one of these teams that go up and down. They're remarkably consistent. They don't overreact. I mean, I don't even think that question plays into it, because these guys come in and they do what they do, right? You know they're going to run Derrick Henry, and you know the kind of defense they play. They'll just put their nose back to the grindstone. You know, they don't see themselves, I'm sure, as overcoming the 1 seed, right? And that's the only one that you want this year, essentially. I guess you want, 2 and 3 and 4 because of the way, they got an extra playoff team in there. I have to go back and do the math on that one. But they're not getting 1, right? They're just not. So they're going to come in. They're going to play great football, which is what they do. They're going to play solid, consistent, physical football and try to be what they have been for most of this season, and that is a really good I think they're a complete football team, John. I think, and I'm going to ask Doug Marrone this on Friday when we've got him, I think maybe they're the most balanced team in the league, and not because they have a better running back or a better quarterback, but just because that's their philosophy. They're all about balance. They're going to pound Henry, and then they're going to go deep over the top.
Well, they're really good offensively, and they've showed that all season. They are a flawed team defensively in the fact that they can't get off the field on 3rd down, and they have a lot of trouble rushing the passer, and that's their huge need going forward over the last month. Jadeveon Clowney, they signed, didn't work out. He's now on IR. They have 14 sacks in 12 games. That's not the way this team usually plays. I don't know that the Jaguars can take advantage of that stat. I think somebody will going forward. In Tennessee, that's the huge concern. How do we get that fixed to go with a very balanced offense, a very underrated quarterback in Tannehill? I think they'll beat the Jaguars this weekend. They'll get in the playoffs and be dangerous. Can they fix their defense will be their question.
Well, the way I see this team is that if they're running the ball, right, if Derrick Henry is doing what he did in the playoffs last year, if he's December Derrick, and against the Jaguars, December Derrick has averaged more than 7 yards per carry, okay? September Derrick against the Jaguars, just 3.4. I mean, this is his time of year. They can protect that defense. They didn't come from behind last week, even though they got hot late, right? So they're not going to be a come-from-behind team. They're going to have to be a front-running team. The thing their defense can do this week is the defense can focus on taking away James Robinson. They'll be good against the run, which means that this game comes down to can Glennon do better than he did last week in Minnesota?
Definitely want to eliminate those 3 turnovers, 2 interceptions for Mike Glennon. And John, I went back and I watched some highlights from week 2, and I thought to myself, this seems like 2 years ago, the last time the Jaguars played the Titans, because especially you look at who was on the field for the Jaguars, it's almost a different team. So with that Jacksonville team, they were coming off a win against the Colts, that 1 win. And then you look at that Tennessee game, it was within 3 points, but you really can't base it off that because it was 1 so long ago. And 2, this Jacksonville team is a totally different team right now.
Well, it's an intriguing team. It's playing better defense after the bye than it did before the bye. The difference is offensively, that team was still riding the high of new offensive coordinator. Teams had not seen Gardner Minshew within this offense yet. Once they did those first couple of games, it sort of started to tail off and the struggles came. So it was absolutely running a high. After that first Tennessee game, there was still a lot of hope about Gardner Minshew around the franchise. So I anticipate a much different game. I don't anticipate the Jaguars being able to hang with the Titans because Derrick Henry in December, it becomes a matter of wanting to tackle him for 75 plays, and at some point, he wears you down. I anticipate that happening. I think the Jaguars will play good defense for a couple of quarters against him and then really struggle at the end.
Yeah, Brian, kind of similar to last week. They held Dalvin Cook, and overall it was a good day against the run defense, but the defense kind of just got tired at the end trying to stop that guy every single play, and he ends up getting over 100 yards because of that.
Well, they're going to be really tired in a couple of weeks because did you see what the Cowboys did last night? They got pounded by the Ravens for 294 yards. The Jaguars face this guy, and then next week they get Lamar Jackson. Last week they had Dalvin Cook. It doesn't seem probable that this collection of guys up front will be able to hold up. You don't have the big bodies that it takes to be able to close all the gaps. And if you make one mistake, and a Daniel Ekuale or a Doug Costin, these young defensive tackles step in the wrong gap, I mean, this guy creases you for 40, 50 yards right up the gut, makes you look stupid.
Right.
So, I don't know. Last week I sat down in front of the game and I thought, okay, this is going to be a long afternoon. Because I thought the balance with Dalvin Cook and the Jefferson kid was going to be way too much, and they wouldn't be able to hang, not with the names they had on the field. I'm excited to watch them play. I said that in Quick Thoughts this week, and I said it on Monday on this show. I want to watch them play. It's exciting to see young guys go out there and do their best. Do I think they're going to win? I do not think they're going to win. Do I think that they can hang? Yeah, I think they can hang for a while. We'll see.
We shall see. Sunday, Jags-Titans here in Jacksonville when we come back. Jags drive time, some Ashland Ask and the whiteboards out on this Wednesday. Coming up.
Fans, we all know Duval is a big place, and you need to get a lot of mileage out of what you drive. That's why Duval Motor Company puts service first. They don't just sell great cars and trucks. Their service departments take care of your loved ones by providing maintenance and repair for every make and model, even the ones they don't sell. They've got all of Duval covered when it comes to your ride. Any make, any model, any location. DuvalMotorCompany.com.
Hi folks, Frank Frangie here for the best barbecue in town. That's Bono's. And now it's the official barbecue of the Jacksonville Jaguars. All season long, you can get Bono's barbecue at 6 different locations in Everbank Field. You also get Bono's barbecue at 15 locations all around town with fast, friendly service, clean family restaurants, and that great taste of Bono's barbecues. If you want great barbecue, you want Bono's. And remember this, if there ain't a pit, it ain't legit. That's Bono's.
Dreamfinders Homes has a simple commitment to their home buyers. Deliver unsurpassed quality, uncompromising value, and an extraordinary level of customization you simply won't find with other home builders. With over 40 communities to choose from, you'll find a location you love and the home of your dreams. Dreamfinders has townhomes, single-family homes, and custom estate homes starting from the high 100s and a wide selection of move-in-ready homes. Quality, value, customization. That's the Dreamfinders difference. Call 904-738-0165 or online at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Prices subject to change without notice. Equal housing opportunity. Jags Drive Time is presented in part by TIAA Bank. Created to serve, built to perform. By Publix, where shopping is a pleasure. And Baptist Health, changing healthcare for good.
Farah and Farah reminds you to continue to wear a mask to help prevent the spread of COVID-19. Farah and Farah protecting you and your family since 1979. Back on Jags Drive Time Wednesday morning, brought to you by the Duval Motor Group. And on Wednesdays, we bring out these nifty things. Whiteboards for Ashland Ask. 3 questions about the game on Sunday. Number 1. Besides Derrick Henry, who do the Jags need to focus on Sunday? Obviously, Derrick Henry is number 1. You want to stop the run, and that run defense needs to be on point to have a chance. But who else? The Titans have a lot of weapons on offense, so who else do we need to focus on? All right, who do we got, fellas? Brian, go for it. Can't see very clearly.
Well, this may be too easy, but the tight end, Jonnu Smith. What do you have, a 69-yard completion on the first play of the game in week 2? There's so much, especially with Derrick Henry in the backfield, there's so much that you worry about with this team. And then 2 really good receivers on the outside. Corey Davis is coming in on the heels of an 11-catch, 184-yard performance against the Browns. And A.J. Brown has been an 8-touchdown machine this year. I mean, he's just all over the place. He was injured in week 2 and the Jaguars didn't see him, but he's a talented second-year kid. So you got the speedy receivers and you've got the big back, and you think, okay, all right, let's play it this way. And then Jonnu Smith gets free up the seam. So I'll say the tight end.
Fair enough. All right, John, don't take mine, but I have a feeling you're going
So I'm going to say, I have parentheses down here. Tannehill's the guy you really have to watch because he's playing much better than anybody thought he would in Tennessee. He's justified the contract. He's playing at a high level. But A.J. Brown, for this secondary, for the Jaguars secondary, is really dangerous. I think he's about 7 feet, 400 pounds, and runs a 4.3. That's how he looks when he plays. He's huge and powerful. So against this secondary, which right now is not huge and powerful, he's very, very dangerous. Corey Davis is very good on the other side. He's coming along. A.J. Brown has been really consistent, really good. So their passing offense is much more dangerous when it's right than most national people give them credit for.
Big day, to say the least, for the secondary, and John kind of sort of hinted at it, but gave me the layup. Ryan Tannehill come back against the Browns. Almost 400 yards last week, 3 touchdowns, 105 passer rating. When this guy heats up, it is very difficult to stop him, especially with the offensive weapons that we just mentioned. So this guy, priority. Jaguars defense, if you're watching, pay attention. All right, number 2, Ashland asks. Here we go. Hold up, Sean. Predict the next 4 weeks for the Jaguars quarterback position. Let's try to summarize what the next 4 weeks will look like in a few words. The Jaguars quarterback situation. That has been a roller coaster, to say the least. Racing. I wish I could write Jake the Snake. However, that would just not be factual. So, Brian, John, what you got? Brian, you look ready.
Glennon to the 4th power. I don't know why people are missing this, but and maybe it's because they don't want to miss it. The Jaguars, for whatever reason, maybe because they don't want to create a spark from Minshew going into next year and create any kind of controversy. Maybe it's because they really believe that Glennon is better than he is and playing better. Who knows? I mean, create your conspiracy theory. They don't want to put Gardner Minshew back in the game. They don't want to. They could. They're not. They don't want to. So it's going to be Glennon.
Indeed. John, do we have something similar?
Yeah, I have some hieroglyphics here, Shlyn. I have up, or no, down and up. It's going to be up and down, but it's going to be Glennon. And you can see here, I left his name out, so I had to do the little arrow up with the N. I misspelled it. It's going to be Glennon unless something just awful happens in terms of 4 interceptions to force the hand. I just don't see him going back to Minshew. I'm with Brian, and I like drawing things.
Yeah, same.
Hey,
I'm with
John,
both of you.
if you wanted to, you
Glennon
could argue
time.
that something awful happened last Sunday. So they didn't go back to him. I mean, he turned the ball over with the interceptions and the fumble 3 times. He already had the awful day, and they still went with him. And they said that Minshew's healthy. I think it's Glennon, even if it is 4 interceptions.
Yes.
Oh, boy. I hope not. 2 interceptions, 1 fumble last week against the Vikings, but nonetheless, Glennon time. All right, 3rd one. Christmas is approaching. I don't know if you know, fellas. Who would make a great mall Santa Claus? You both have children. You both waited in line, I'm sure, at the mall. Sit on Santa's lap. Not you. I guess that would be kind of weird. Your kids. So, if you had to pick a Jaguars player, coach, staff member to be a mall Santa Claus, who would you pick and why? None of you can pick our lovely producer, Max Hockman. That's too easy. Let's get creative here. All right, who's ready? John, don't pick yourself.
Well, I was going to go with JP Shadrick, but it's too easy. So I went with Todd Wash because fans love Todd Wash. Wouldn't you love to go to the mall? And I think the adults would go sit on Todd's lap and just say, Todd, we love you. And I know Washer would love it too. He would love that experience.
Oh. It's too bad that people don't get to know the assistant coaches. I love Todd Wash. People would love, and I don't know that I'd love to sit on his lap, but he is a great guy. And he did a hell of a job last week, whether people want to give him credit or not. You know, coming back off 10 days away from the team and with the cast of characters he had to work with. I'm going with Ozone. And I'm not being flippant here this morning, although it's easy to do with John. Did you see the video of that mall Santa? The kid asked for a Nerf gun, and the guy said, no guns, no. And all I thought when you asked the question was, I could see John telling people no. No, that's a ridiculous request. Are you crazy?
I'll lay down the law.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I just think you tell him no. No, I'm not doing that. So I think John, in today's day and age, if that's the Santa of 2020, I think John could do it.
Okay, fair enough. I'm going with, I think, a more acceptable answer, which is Tyler Shatley. When I think of Tyler Shatley, I think just
the beard.
A pleasant fellow. Like, he would just sit there and be happy and listen, and I think enjoy it. So Tyler Shatley, this could be you, but instead you're playing football, which might be a better option. But always an option. You never know.
He's also got the perfect beard. He's got the beard for it.
I actually, last year, we would wait in the locker room, and where we waited was somewhat close to Tyler's locker. And he told me one day his beard routine, and he has a beard conditioner and a shampoo and a brush, and is actually sponsored by a beard company. So he is the poster child, I guess you could say, for beards. So well done, Tyler Shatley. You got that going for you. When we come back, Jags Drive, Ozone Snapshot coming up.
With over 100 years of experience, Duval Motor Company knows experience counts, both on the field and under the hood. That's why all of their service departments are staffed by certified professionals who take pride in servicing any make and model, not just the vehicles they sell. Keeping your vehicles on the road is what drives Duval Motor Company. They know how much you depend on your car, and you can depend on them to put service first. Any make, any model, any location. DuvalMotorCompany.com.
Why do you choose Farah and Farah? First, we have the financial resources to take on any insurance company, and our track record proves that we know how to win. Our attorneys and staff are a team, and we've worked together for decades. To us, our job is much more than just a paycheck. We love to help, and this is important. We never forget. It's not about us. It's all about you. Farah and Farah, Jacksonville.
Pinpoint, the official signage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, helps business decision makers like you maximize the impact of their brand. Your company's identification, advertising, and even the words you use make an impression on your clients. With Pinpoint as your coach, you can make sure it's a good impression. Pinpoint provides the creative design and production services for anything you need to enhance your brand, from custom signage to complete marketing solutions. Step up your game with Pinpoint and create the ultimate brand experience for your clients. Visit experiencepinpoint.com.
Jags Drive Time is presented in part by Dreamfinders Homes, homes that fit your lifestyle. Next Grill, everyone's invited. And Adecco. Visit ADECOUSA.com.
Game day is just around the corner on Sunday, and we can't wait to be Duval together again. Jaguars are taking every precaution to keep our fans safe at TIAA Bank Field. From cashless concessions to contactless entry, visit jaguars.com/stadium to learn more. We are back, Jags Drive Time, on Wednesday, which means we visit the Ozone mailbag, always for our guy, John Oehser.
This broadcast is ozone friendly.
Why would the coach stay with a quarterback who has 3 turnovers in one game if the rest of the team is playing their hearts out, John? It seems to me the coaches have planned to lose, and Minshew won't go along with the plan. Obviously.
Yeah, I was taken by this question because I get some of this, that there's this coaching conspiracy to keep Gardner on the bench, even though Gardner's the only guy in Jacksonville who wants to win games. I mean, that's sort of where some of the readers come from. I get that Gardner is a great guy. I like the guy. I wish he had been the franchise quarterback. It would have been great. It would have been a blast to cover. But that's not the reality. Within the scheme of this offense, Glennon does more things. If people doubt me, and I'm very doubtable, go read Jaguars.com, the scout's take from Bucky Brooks, who really has no dog in the hunt, if you will, about last week's game and what Glennon gave to the offense in terms of what they're allowed to do, what Gruden is comfortable calling with Glennon in the game. He explains it much better than I. They believe Glennon is the best quarterback right now. That's why he's in the game. It is not a conspiracy against Gardner, despite him begging to be in the game.
I'm just blown away that a guy who is 7-13 as a starter, who is undersized, does not have an NFL caliber arm, has been able to create such a legend around himself in less than 2 seasons on the field. It amazes me that people just can't see through that. Gardner has a masterful career in front of him in sales, in marketing, maybe in the movies, because he can make people see what he wants them to see and then help them ignore what he doesn't want them to see. And that is that he held the ball too long, that he didn't see open receivers, and that he doesn't have an NFL caliber arm. But man, the legend is unbelievable. Congrats to him.
Yes, it was nothing personal. We said back in training camp we were all rooting for the guy because he was definitely fun to cover and easy to root for, but it seems like it's
not a
Glennon
personality
time,
contest.
like we just said. No, definitely not. It's all about wins and losses. It's a business here. Brian, I've told you this. It's all about the money. Dang it.
I'm learning.
Let's go to Sasa. Why do the Jags take out James Robinson so often on Sunday? Give him a break, fine, but it's not like he has 30-plus carries or so. I don't like the decision, as he is the best player on offense, John.
Well, he is. He's also a running back who has carried a phenomenal amount for this team this season. He's a young running back. You don't absolutely want to wear him out every game. I also looked, Robinson only had 18 carries, only. That's okay for the NFL these days. There are only 23 carries overall, and other running backs only got 2. It felt to me like he was out of the game more. I don't think that's a bad thing because I don't think you just want to wear him down. But it's not like he's being underused. They'll use him. I don't think they'll use him more. I think they might use him a tick less. But, at some point, you can't completely wear him down every game.
Isn't 18 about his average? About what he carries per game? I mean,
it is, but it had gone up the last 6 weeks or so.
Well, and they throw him the ball, and they use him in pass protection. I mean, he's a really good player, but very few running backs go the whole season with every carry. He is predominant. He's got 212, and the next non-quarterback, because Minshew has 25 attempts out of the pocket, is a wide receiver, Chenault, and then Chris Thompson, 7. So, I mean, he's carried the ball so much this year that it's so rare that anybody would have that ratio of carries in their column. It just makes sense. And, it's the Vikings were selling out everything to stop him. Why not change it up and see if you can't get something from someone else?
Right. And people forget there's still 4 games left, 4 weeks left in this NFL season. You want to keep the guy going. He's having a great year. So let's go to New York. Jacob. Looks like Ohio State quarterback Justin Fields will have a good O-line, great running back, and promising weapons, John. We're here. Welcome.
Well, somebody will. I mean, I guess Fields is the leader in the clubhouse at this point until something else happens in New York where they win. Excuse me. But the point of the question is, as we've talked about in this show for the last couple of weeks, it's starting to look more and more like there is a really good foundation, especially offensively. Once a quarterback gets in place, I don't think the line comes back completely intact, but the line pieces are there. You need a tight end and a quarterback. Wide receiver, maybe one veteran add to this group would make sense because I don't think Chris Conley comes back. James Robinson's ready, so backup running back. But you're not talking about major pieces outside quarterback, tight end, and we'll see what happens with left tackle in the offseason.
Mm-hmm.
It probably bears mentioning here that Justin Fields seems to be the number 2 quarterback in the clubhouse right now, but there are some people that I've talked to that think that Kyle Trask down at Florida is going to make a run into the top 10, and the Wilson kid from BYU's name keeps coming up, and we've all heard Trey Lance. I think that's why people like me are willing to accept a bunch of 1-point losses and stay in contention for Trevor Lawrence, because Trevor Lawrence is clearly the best quarterback in this draft, and everyone else is vying to be number 2. I think Justin Fields might be it, probably is it, but it's far from certain at this point.
Yep, that'll be a huge storyline come combine time of who's going to race for that number 2, and I'm sure there's names that we aren't even talking about yet that will come in conversation. The way it goes. When we come back, that is Ozone Snapshots. We come back, some closing thoughts here on Jags Drive Time.
Hey Jags fans, we all know Duval is a big place, and you need to get a lot of mileage out of what you drive. That's why Duval Motor Company puts service first. They don't just sell great cars and trucks. Their service departments take care of your loved ones by providing maintenance and repair for every make and model, even the ones they don't sell. They've got all of Duval covered when it comes to your ride. Any make, any model, any location. DuvalMotorCompany.com. Dreamfinders Homes has a simple commitment to their home buyers. Deliver unsurpassed quality, uncompromising value, and an extraordinary level of customization you simply won't find with other home builders. With over 40 communities to choose from, you'll find a location you love and the home of your dreams. Dreamfinders has townhomes, single-family homes, and custom estate homes starting from the high 100s and a wide selection of move-in ready homes. Quality, value, customization. That's the Dreamfinders difference. Call 904-738-0165 or online at dreamfindershomes.com. Dreamfinders Homes, the official home builder of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Prices subject to change without notice. Equal housing opportunity.
At ViStar, we believe in better, especially in helping build a better financial future for our members. So we've reviewed our offerings from the ground up. We've lowered or eliminated over half our fees and enhanced our already competitive rates, saving members more than $1 million this year, in addition to the millions we save them every year. If you believe that saving money is better, join ViStar. We never forget that it's your money. All loans subject to approval, insured by NCUA.
We're back, Jags Drive Time, Wednesday morning for a few short moments. Stay tuned. Head coach Doug Marrone press conference, 9 o'clock. Then we have quarterback and offense day. Jay Gruden speaking to the media. Instagram Live tonight. We're back tomorrow morning, Jags Drive Time, taking a good look at the Tennessee Titans. That game Sunday here in Jacksonville. We will see you then.